Welcome to tutorial number 3. Today we're going to be learning how to control motors with Multiplo and Bot 1.1 or higher.
The materials needed today are, of course, our Bot board 1.1 or higher. To see what Bot you have, you can check here. It's etched on the front. It's version 1.2 that I'm using here, or you can see it on the back. Then we're going to be using the USB cable, of course. I already have it connected to the computer. We're going to use a battery pack. In this case, we're going to be using a battery pack because the motors need a little bit more power than the USB can handle. So we're going to be using the power pack to provide the power to the motors. Of course, we're going to need a motor and a cable to connect the board and the motors. First of all, then we connect the board with the USB cable. We connect the power pack. And then you're going to notice that there are two motor ports on the board, M0 and M1. For this example, we're going to be using M0. We connect it there on M0 and we connect it right into the motor. And I'm going to leave it right here so you can see. Next step, we turn it on. The computer should recognize the board.
To control the motors, all we have to do is use the gears icon, the motors icon. Well, you're going to see that there are two things that we need to select here. One is which motor port we're going to be using, and it's motor 0 or M0. And then we're going to be choosing the speed in which we want the motor to work. This is a percentage, so from 1 to 100 we can choose any value and we're going to do it as a constant. Well, let's say make it run at 80%. So let's go ahead and click run and upload the instructions to the board.
There it's uploading. You're going to see the LED light blinking, and once it stops, it's going to make the motor run. Now it's running at 80% power.
So what we're going to do now is set up when to stop or for how long to run. This is pretty easy. What we have to do is just set up a timer. And this is in milliseconds, so we set up a number, a constant, and let's tell him 2 seconds. And since it's in milliseconds, we have to add 3 zeros, 2000. That's going to be 2 seconds. The next thing that we do, let me show you right away how to make the engine run in the opposite direction. For this, all we have to do is put a minus sign in front of it, just make it a negative. So positive runs in one direction and negative runs in the opposite direction. Let's go ahead and choose again the gears icon, motor 0, and we're going to make it a negative, number negative, just a tooltip. And let's choose constant, and we're going to do 80% power. Let's go ahead and upload that.
Runs in one direction, and then after 2 seconds it changes in the opposite direction, because that's what we told it.
Again, it's going to be running endlessly until we tell the motor to do otherwise. So what we're going to do now is put another timer. Let's tell the engine to run for 2 seconds in the opposite direction. And after that, let's tell the motor to stop. And for that, all we have to do is tell him go to 0, no power.
Compiling and uploading. LED blinks. 2 seconds in one direction, 2 seconds in the opposite direction, and then it stops.
Well, now you know how to program the board to control motors, so start experimenting on your own. Hope you had a good time.